everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is a vlog for this book called Verity. It's by Colleen Hoover, and at this point I've already read this book, so I have very different thoughts from the part when I read the book, and I'll probably break down the plots of this book and explain to you guys what I received from this book and what are my current thoughts about it. So that's gonna be it in this vlog, and you'll be seeing me reacting and overreacting at some points because that is all about book videos. You always read a book, you get overwhelmed, and then you give very overreactions. That is what it is about. So let's begin. Hi, good morning. I slept last night and I couldn't read the book, but I'm gonna start reading it right now, and I'm gonna read for the whole day. Like, the whole day is devoted to reading. So let's see in how much time I'm able to complete this book. I'm super excited, yet very, very dicey about reading this book, but we'll do it. Let's begin the vlog. It's 9 a.m. currently. मुझे फटाफट से पढ़ना शुरू करना है so that I can do some exercise after that and maybe eat something because I'm super hungry in the morning. So I just read the first line and I'm already impressed. This book is going to be very different from all the books that I've read before, so quick update, it's 10:30 a.m. and I'm done with 50 pages of this book. मैंने सिर्फ 1.5 घंटे में 50 pages पढ़े. I'm going with the story, and it needs time to complete, to be very honest. So the story follows this writer called Lowen, whatever her name is. I'm very bad with pronunciations. So this Lowen is a very mediocre writer, and she gets this offer to complete a book series that was being written by this very famous author called Verity. Now Verity has this very tragic household wherein her 2 daughters are already dead, and she lives with her husband, and then she met with a car accident, and then the whole thing happened, and that is why Verity's husband Jeremy wants an author to write a story and complete the series on behalf of Verity. So that is what Loen is being hired for, and for that purpose, for the research work and for going through all the decade-worth notes of Verity, she needs to shift to their house and basically live there for a few months or something. It's a 24-month contract, and so it's gonna be a very long journey. I don't know, and by the descriptions of the house, it's already very creepy. It's 3 p.m. and I'm done with 130 pages of Verity, and Verity has some serious issues that need to be addressed right here that I can't process right now. The book is filled with morbid stuff. Let's talk about how the story progresses after Lauren gets the deal. So she explores her whole study office, and she figures out that her books are really engaging and really amazing. So in one drawer, she finds Verity's autobiography, which has very, very horrific and horrible claims that Verity has written herself. And I can't tell you, she tried aborting her own child. I mean, and not just one child, they were twins. So she tried aborting their 2 twins while her husband was asleep in their bed. That's such a horrible thing to do, but she did that, and it's so creepy. And in one instance, ऐसे होता है कि Verity's son is playing there on the beach, and he's waving at Loen, and Loen is thinking he's waving at her, but he's waving at the building towards the room of Verity. Like, Verity ka room is there on the first floor, and the kid is waving towards her and there's no one standing over there. So that really creeped me out. Other creepy part was that Verity's room is always open. It is never bolted, and her kid usually goes to her room and stays with her, plays with his iPad for a while, and then comes back downstairs and be there with his father. Now Jeremy is downstairs and Lauren is also downstairs. She's working on the manuscript that she has to write, and she hears this cry of that kid in the room, and that cry is coming from Verity's room. She goes in to check, and she finds Verity's son crying, and he has blood smeared all over his chin. And she asks him, "Were you playing with the knife?" And he says, "No, I didn't play with the knife. My mom scolded me to not play with the knife." And then he takes her to the bathroom and makes him wash his face. And she asks him again, "Do you talk to your mother, or does your mother talk to you?" And he just nods. And this is what I've read until now, and it's too much to process. I mean, there are two types of creepy people and creepy vibes. One comes from those who look very harmful, and the other kind of creepiness comes from people who are totally helpless, who are just lying there and who aren't able to say anything to you, but they just creep you out. So Verity is that kind of woman. She is so horrific. She's a mad woman. She was obsessed with her husband. It is very evident from her manuscripts. I'm regretting the decision to read it in one day. I might not read it, but abhi to curiosity aa chuki hai, ab to padna padega. So until then, let's creep ourselves more. A little update, it's 3 p.m. currently, and I'm done with 150 pages of Verity. And this book is blowing my mind currently because Verity is a very morbid character. She is just lying on the bed, very helpless, and giving off very creepy vibes. I am in such a mess state right now. It's hard to process what's going on in the book. There are very creepy instances in the book. There are scenes when I feel like I need to close the book, and I don't know where this book will lead me and how the story is going to get more mysterious and more horrific further. But one thing is for sure, that it's gonna be a roller coaster ride. So now it's time to develop a theory. My theory says that Verity killed her two daughters, and she's the one who was trying to kill Crew, her son, 5-year-old son, and I think that is it. She is trying to kill all the people who get her husband's attention, and she might even try to kill Lauren in the future. I don't know how much right I am with my theory, but I mean, that's for now. Hi, it's 6 p.m. and as I told you, Lauren is reading Verity's manuscripts, and she finds out that she started hating her daughters when they were born. So she had twins and she used to hate them until they were of 6 months of age, and after that she tried choking one of her kid to death. But she finally survived the whole process and she was saved. Later in the story progresses from Lowen's and Jeremy's side, and they both are kissing somehow. And so these two are kissing, and somehow this whole scene turns into a very horrific scene. And Lowen sees Verity standing on the stairs, watching them with an expression of anger and anguish on her face, and that is when the things turn dirty. When they rush to her room to see if she's really awake or not, they find them asleep as always. I mean, at this point, this scene doesn't really creeps me out like the first one. The first creepy scene was the one with the child waving at her mother's building. This wasn't that creepy क्योंकि अभी तक मैंने already इतने सारे creepy scenes पढ़ लिए हैं, so it isn't that horrific for me. But yeah, I think this story is amazing. I haven't read anything like this so far. Also, Lowen has come to a conclusion that Verity might be a psychopath, and I do believe she is. The last book that I finished in one sitting was Love on the Brain, and that was out of pure external motivation. But इस book के लिए I have so much internal motivation, and so this just keeps me going through the pages, and I'm able to read this whole book today. I'll be finishing it by 8 p.m. or something. I'm just left with this much. the book and it was devastating. Also, the idea of turning the events in the end with that letter was genius, a very brilliant idea. I don't think a normal writer can do that. It's hard to register everything that I just absorbed from the book. It's currently 7:30, so I just finished it in almost 6 hours. Let's say it's 6 hours. That's a pretty good amount of time for finishing a 300-page book. The story leaves all the readers on a cliffhanger, whether she was a psychopath or whether Verity was all the way along misinterpreted by us and by her husband Jeremy. What I think that she was surely a psychopath. Her behaviors, her writing, they weren't really normal. Only a psychopath can write such stuff. I mean, I do believe that human beings are capable of doing great things and of writing great things and of using their mind to a very great extent, but still, I mean, that is a little too creative for human mind to plan such a story and to write an autobiography with a negative view of it. It's really mind-boggling. So I do believe she was a psychopath. Do let me know your views about the book and about Verity. Also, I think that destroying her letter was a very, very selfish move done by Lowen. I hate her for that. And Lowen was probably the most hateful character for me in the end because she destroyed her letter. I think Jeremy deserved the letter. So that is it for the vlog. I really enjoyed this book and I was really captivated throughout the story. The plot was actually very, very advanced and very new to me. I haven't really read anything like this, and Verity was one of the best thrillers I have read so far. And I really like to read romantic books and all that stuff. So this was my first-hand experience with Colleen Hoover writing a thriller book, and I am very surprised. I'm very amazed by the fact that I'm really wanting to read more books like this. So there was a question mark in the end, so we don't really know if Verity was innocent or was she really a pathological patient and she was just making this whole up. I don't know. What I think is that she really did manipulate truths at point, and that letter was something to confuse us, and Verity didn't write it to prove her innocence. Verity wrote that letter to basically manipulate the truth once again and leave all of us in a muse. That is it for the vlog. I really enjoyed reading it and I'm very amazed by the fact that I'm not a huge fan of thrillers, but this book really made me want to read more of the books in the same genre, and I really liked the plot. I was captivated throughout the book. It left me with several questions and different answers as well. I really highly recommend this book to all of you out there. If you're really looking for some thrill and some fun, then just check this book out, and it's not even that expensive, it's very, very reasonable. So it's now the time to rate the book. I'll give a 4.5 stars to this book. Zero point 0.5 stars I'm deducting because of the ending. Ending was really great, no doubt about it, but I think they could have given us a clearer picture of the ending, like how it all ends. Was Verity innocent or was she just planning this whole thing from the very beginning? That is something that I really need to know, and I wish there is a sequel to this book, but anyways, you need to buy this book. If you're looking for some thrill and chill in your life, then go ahead, buy this book and enjoy reading. That is all. And do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And bye.